Hello guys, thank you here, and this is the Hoshino build for Doll's Nest. So before we begin, I would like to remind you guys that if you want to help support the channel, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. And if you have any questions or concerns, feel free to leave a comment in the comment section down below. So without further ado, let's get started. So for this build, we will be running the Takamas, Calrogs, the Goggles, the Epinas, the Kuramitsuhas, the Franciscas, Paris, the Fog, and the Gas. So before I actually show off some or any gameplay of this, let me go through why I decided to choose these builds. So the whole reason why I decided to choose Takamas is one, it's probably one of the shortest modules you can have, or mobility modules you can have for a character, and two, these things are pretty lightweight, so you should be able to get around with them pretty easily. As for the Calrogs, these pretty much have the highest computing out of all of the headsets on here, and quite frankly, this build heavily relies on being up close and personal, so having like very good targeting is it's essentially a good idea to have. As for the goggles, this has plenty of frontal armor, but not too much back armor. And the whole reason why I decided to choose this is because, well, one, it kind of actually fits Hoshino's design, since he's always carrying the armor of Horus, or rather, was it the iron of Horus? No, I think it was the iron of Horus. But yeah, she's always carrying around that, and I figured that having the goggles in front of her is a pretty good idea to actually simulate that. But on top of building her speed, I decided to also go for the Epinas just to add a little bit more speed for her. Keep in mind though, despite the fact that she has an Epina and the Takamas doesn't have very good jump ability, so you're not going to be doing a lot of platforming with this, but plenty of fighting, which is what Hoshino is known for. I also decided to go for the Kuramitsuhas as well, because one, this does have a shield overlay, and the shield overlay kind of emulates Hoshino's EX skills, or rather, at the very least, her normal outfit, or what have you. Not armed Hoshino, that is. Armed Hoshino, well, she kind of has something similar, but she kind of holds still when she uses her shield, so it's a bit semantical at that point. I decided to go with the Francisca because, well, one, it aesthetically fits Hoshino's weapon, the Eye of Horus, and quite frankly, it kind of looks good. It kind of looks good. On top of that, yeah, it does have like a shell case or a shell rack like off to the side, which is very similar to Hoshino's weapon. So yeah, I decided to just go for that. I think this is the only weapon that actually has this. The Bardiche doesn't actually have anything like that. But yeah, apart from that, I also decided to go for the Keras as well, just to simulate Hoshino's pistol, like the thing she has like on her armed uniform. On top of that, I decided to go for the Falcon as well because, well, I feel like this weapon would fit an old timer like Hoshino. And on top of that, I decided to go for the Gas just to add a little bit more damage, just to maximize her close combat capabilities. And I kind of sort of forgot to do this in the previous episode, but oh, actually, no, I did actually include it at the very end, but I forgot to show off like what color schemes I'm using for Hoshino, or at least her armor. For her hanger module, I decided to go for these values. These values for the sub, these values for the inner, and these values for the glow. And as for the rest of her frame, well, it's essentially, oh, actually, no, that's kind of bad. It's essentially these values for her main frame, get it? Main frame. These values for her sub-frames, these values for her inner frames, and these values for her glow frames. So hopefully you can actually pause all the video and actually put these in for yourself if you're wanting to actually build the Hoshino build. But on top of that, I also decided to design Hoshino around her usual uniform build, or rather not her uniform build, her armed build, because quite frankly, I was going to like all the outfits around here, and well, this one seemed to fit the most, or the best I can get to a classic Hoshino. So I'm using the standard Gardenian combat uniform. I'm using the fox front hair. What is this? Oh, the NYL back hair, and YAM face for my base. And if you're wondering what I'm using for my humanoid color, well, default skin for the skin color. My main color should be these values. My subcolor should be these values. My subcolor 2 should be these values. My subcolor 3 should be these values. Hair color should be these values, and the hair grain is pretty much the same. Hair highlights should be these values along with the optional values, and I decided to go for a heterochromia for this character build. So for the right eye, I'm using these values. And for the left eye, I'm using these values. So if you want to make your own Hoshino, feel free to actually use these values. And yeah, also feel free to pause the video as well, just so you can actually get all of that. So anyways, yeah, I think without further ado, we should probably move on and try this character out in the open. You know what? Let's go ahead and head off to the accumulation zone. Alright, so here we are in the accumulation zone. So the thing with this build is you kind of want to get close to your enemy as much as possible. The idea is you kind of want to actually pop off your shield before you actually get your enemies to start attacking you, or no, just simply dodge out of the way. But yeah, ideally you kind of want to play like this, and just simply get close. Try to be careful about going up against enemies with splash damage attacks, because those enemies tend to be a little bit dicey when you're going up against them. You use your Karas for medium range enemies, or mid range at least. The Karas does do damage on itself, but I want to rely on the BP effects, or rather the bleeding debuff, because yeah, the bleeding debuff isn't too particularly good. But the damage you get off of the bleed proc is pretty good. Yeah, overall you kind of want to use your shotgun as much as possible. As well as use your mobility as well. I feel like good mobility with this build is, well, quintessential, essentially. You can also get close to try to hit with your gas as such. Gas is, well, it's kind of good at trying to get, like, repeated attacks, like, in a row. But, yeah, apart from that, it's, well, kind of limited in use. The falls you can also use as well. I have to recommend using this for slightly longer ranges, or mid-range at least. But yeah, generally you kind of want to just get close and start smacking people. Generally speaking. But yeah, now let me go ahead and take care of this, and take care of that enemy. But yeah, let's go ahead and go out to fight again. So ideally, you kind of want to get off your proc. I'm sure. Let me start tuning again. Or rather, you ideally want to get off your shield so you can actually protect yourself. Do be very mindful about fighting enemies that have what do I call it? Splash damage, because those enemies can actually shoot through your shields. But apart from that, yeah, it's just basically rinse and repeat. Pop off your shield. I can't pop off my shield. Let me go ahead and just deal with this. Yeah, this is actually a good moment to actually use the Karas. Sorry, I'm kind of all over the place. It's because I'm kind of playing this a little bit live. Generally, kind of want to actually just pop off your shield. Getting close. Basically, just pepper your enemies with your Karas and switch your Francisca, and basically just finish them up once you get up to them. But yeah, the only downside with this build is you kind of gotta be careful about finding elite enemies, like shield-less enemies with the shotguns, or plasma shotgun that is. In fact, see if I can't find one. Okay, I know for a fact that there's none down there. Oh, let's just head back, or let me head back. By the way, before we actually fight the shield-less enemy, I just want to say this build is actually pretty fast on the ground. So if you need like a really good mobility build, this is pretty much it. But anywho, we should be coming up against the elite that I'm trying to find. So those guys over there, yeah, I kind of want to be careful about those guys because one, they can actually do quite a bit to you. I'm using the wrong weapon. Plus that attack right there, yeah, your shield's not gonna do too well against that. But yeah, those enemies, you're gonna just have a lot of trouble because there's not really a good way to actually fight them with this build. Yeah, this build does actually have some limits here and there. I'm not gonna waste too much time with them. But yeah, on certain areas or in certain areas, this build might actually work a little bit better. But again, this build is a little bit gimmicky in and of itself. But then again, I feel like a lot of builds, particularly the Blue Archive builds, are a bit gimmicky. Not all of them though. Although granted, I haven't really shown you all of them, so well, you'll just have to find out later. But anywho, yeah, I think I'm just gonna go ahead and end things off here. Again, this build is actually pretty good. It's a bit gimmicky, but as long as you actually close the distance between you and the enemy, you should be fine with this build. And yeah, like I said before, close range builds tend to have some limits to what they can do, but once you find that sweet spot, you should be generally okay with these builds. But anywho, yeah, if you guys enjoyed this episode, or rather this vid, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. And if you have any questions or concerns, feel free to leave them in the comment section down below. So without further ado, this is going to be Thank You signing off. Goodbye.